Gentlemen, I'm going to get back to some of the issues right now. We're going to talk about the topic of evictions in New York City. In fact, the New York City court system says there were 200,000 eviction cases pending before the pandemic. Courts don't even know what that number is now. Mr. Sliwa, what is your financial plan to keep people inside their homes? You have 60 seconds here.
First off, under normal circumstances, the tenant-landlord court is stacked against the landlords. But now you have all of these moratoriums, federal, state, city, that have been issued, that have allowed people to stay in their apartments even when they're receiving unemployment, even when they're receiving stimulus. A family of four may have received $12,000 in stimulus payments from the federal government, and we know what unemployment is. And they're not required to have to pay rent. There's no investigation of that. Meantime, a smaller landlord, maybe 4 units less, what are they strapped with? 6% property increase tax each year, 4% that they have to invest in the building to keep it going. And then if they don't have a rainy day fund, the building is determined to be distressed, which means at any point they may have to abandon it. It'll become an abandoned property. And remember, having survived through the 70s and 80s and all the abandonment, property values plummeted. There was arson, gangs. We can't go back. AOC wants nobody to pay rent. No commercial rent, no residential rent.
Mr. Sliwa, thank you very much. We're going to leave it there. Crazy. That was your 60 seconds. Mr. Matteo, the same question to you. What is your financial plan to keep people in their homes? You also have 60 seconds here.
Small businesses, small landlords have small businesses. Their businesses are their buildings. The federal government should have put a package together to help landlords that are not receiving rent. Because otherwise, how would they be able to maintain their property? I have a small business. I got PPP money for my businesses. Why? Because it's a small business. Landlords should have gotten the same thing. But I will tell you, there have been a lot of people that are unreasonable. They are getting unemployment and PPP money that is more than what they would get paid going to work, and they're not paying rent. I would make sure that I look at the records of every tenant that hasn't paid rent and find out why. And if that tenant could not pay rent, I would ask our senator and our congressman to go to Washington and help these small business owners that own small businesses and assist them with the rents that they should have collected.
Mr. Matteo, thank you very much. Let's talk about the topic of homelessness now. Mr. Matteo, a temporary solution was to put the homeless in hotels. Would you end this program? And what is your long-term solution to homelessness in New York City? You have 60 seconds.
I would end hotel occupancy by homeless people immediately. Hotels are in New York City to serve tourists, to serve people that come into the city and want a place to stay, that can also feed the businesses in those communities. Homeless people do not spend money in businesses in those communities. I would look for a real solution, and my solution has always been go into the industrial parks of New York City, Bronx, Queens, Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, and Brooklyn, and you go to those industrial parks and you build real housing for the homeless, with mass transportation going through those areas so that they can take to work those that have jobs, and those kids that are homeless, take them to school. I would make sure that they're not in people's backyards, because people don't want homeless people in their community, and the homeless don't want to be where they're not wanted, where they're not welcome. So this mayor has put the community and the homeless community against each other. And that I will stop.
That is 60 seconds right there. I want to stay with you right now, Mr. Matteo. What is your plan to pay for what you just unveiled? You have 30 seconds here.
You bring business back to New York City. You make sure that we increase our tax base by creating jobs, by creating incentives, by bringing corporations and inviting them to come to New York City. I would make sure that every storefront in New York City is occupied. And I would also make sure that every child 14 through 18 years old has a job after school, and they will generate taxes. I would engage them with corporate America, with city agencies, with small businesses,
Mr. Matteo, thank you very
so that
much.
we can generate the taxes needed
Thank you, Mr.
to cover
Matteo.
these
Mr.
expenses.
Sliwa, same question to you. Would you stop housing the homeless in hotels? And what is your long-term plan for homelessness in New York City? 60 seconds here.
Again, let's return to Times Square. They have 16% of hotel space. 41 hotels, 19 of which are COVID-19. That means they're housing homeless men, single able body, homeless women, single able body, at $172 a night. 3 squares, HOTS, cot, free medical. That is mind-boggling. That has got to stop. Number 2, you go back to your original shelters, and shelters have got to provide services, which they don't. They warehouse people. I don't know if people have been in shelters. I've been in many. You got to be in at 10 o'clock. That's your curfew. They kick you out at 7:30 in the morning. They don't deal with your alcohol problems, your drug problems. They don't deal with your emotional issues. It's a warehouse. Look at Cooper Avenue in Glendale. 100 men. There's been 46 crimes that the cops have had to respond to there. The community there wanted a special needs school. They were denied a special needs school. That was City Councilman Bob Holden.
Mr.
And
Sliwa,
a shelter was shoved down their
Mr.
throats
Sliwa,
with no
let me ask you
transparency.
this, and in 30 seconds, for the specifics of what you just laid out, how would you pay for it? 30 seconds.
Well, we used to have Camp LaGuardia upstate in Orange County for the single able-bodied men. They would go up there. It was a farm. They had to self-exist. They got job training. They were able to rehab from their drug, alcohol problems, deal with the emotional issues, and then they were brought back. It was established by Mayor LaGuardia during the Depression, closed by Michael Bloomberg. There's so much empty space upstate New York. They'd be more than happy to take our money so that we can rehab the homeless men and women and repatriate them into the city once they're able
Mr.
to
Sliwa,
handle a job and pay
thank
for
you.
their own bills.
Thank you very much. A lot of our focus here at Pix 11 in our reporting has been on NYCHA and the problems facing the residents there. Mr. Sliwa, should NYCHA be privatized? You have 30 seconds.
300 units, actually housing developments, and I've been through most of them. 500,000 people. No, they should not be privatized. But we should revive the old Jack Kemp idea, which he was the HUD secretary during the Ronald Reagan administration, in which he wanted the NYCHA residents to have ownership, small amounts of money that they would invest. There's a lot of NYCHA people pay rent. It's all based on, how much you earn. And let them buy their own apartments, because then they have equity, they have worth.
Mr. Sliwa, thank you very much. Mr. Mateo, same question to you. Should NYCHA be privatized? You also have 30 seconds here.
I believe that NYCHA should be privatized. I believe that government has no idea on how to run a business. And NYCHA is business. It's really people that rent apartments and pay rent. But they're getting the short end of the stick. Their toilets are flooding, they're rat infested, their ceilings are collapsing. We need to privatize it and hold people accountable for the way our people, the poorest people in New York City live. I believe that they deserve better.
Mr.
And
Mateo,
the government
thank you very
cannot
much.
give them anything
That is your
better.
30 seconds.